So the Golden State Warriors have been one of the better teams this season. After last year being a mediocre team and missing the playoffs, it's honestly been terrible to see the Warriors get better because I don't like to see the Warriors win. But regardless, you have to give them credit. They've been amazing. They definitely look like the first or second best team in the Western Conference. But even though the Warriors have been looking great as a whole this year, there are some key and important problems with this roster. And in today's video, that has led me to make this video where I'll just be discussing the three biggest problems the Warriors might face when going into the playoffs. Before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. Also, if you want to go with 3,000 subscribers, also drop a comment on this video as I do respond to all of my comments. And play that intro. First biggest concern I have with the Warriors going to the playoffs is the fact that Steph Curry has probably been the most inconsistent superstar this season. We all know he had that terrible and long stretch of just subpar, not superstar level basketball after he broke the three-point record. We all know how great Steph Curry is, top 4 player in the league, but to be blunt, this season he hasn't even been a top 5 player. And a big reason for that is because of the bad stretch. To go into the stats about the bad stretch, since December 8th, which is when he broke the three-point record, Steph has only been averaging 24 points per game, which isn't bad, but that's like the least since his first MVP year. And he's not doing it on his usual great efficiency. He's shooting 43% from the field and 35% from 3. For any other player, those are really good numbers. Those are all-star numbers. But if the Warriors want to win the championship, they can't have Steph playing just like an all-star point guard. They need the top 10 players, superstar, arguably best player in the league, Steph Curry. Simply hasn't been that as of late. He's also been kind of coming out of that stretch as of late, playing better. But regardless, he's just been way too inconsistent this year. And I know the Warriors are a team that is so deep to the point where if Steph has a bad game, they can still win a game against a good team. Trust me, I'm aware of that. But going into the playoffs, if Steph Curry plays bad, it's not the same thing as if Steph Curry plays bad in the regular season. The playoffs is a whole different animal. Best believe if Steph Curry has a terrible game against the Phoenix Suns, the Warriors are probably not winning that game. With the way he's been so inconsistent, definitely something to worry about. He hasn't had a back-to-back 30-point game since December, and to start the year he had 4 games making over 8 threes, but in his last 30 games he's only done it once. Steph is not at his best right now. If the Warriors want to beat teams like the Suns and maybe even the Grizzlies, they're going to need to just have Steph play way better. If I'm being honest, I do expect Steph to step up because he's one of the best playoff performers in NBA history. But I'm just saying, with the way he's been going through a slump, it has to be something that's brought up when you talk about concerns for the Warriors. The next thing I'm somewhat concerned about for this Warriors team is Draymond Green's health. If you didn't know, since 2022, Draymond Green has only played 2 games this whole 2022. And if you ask me, Draymond Green is easily this team's second most important player, and it's not even close. He's the best passer on this team. He always keeps the ball moving. He's a top 3 defender in the league. He anchors their whole defense. Without him, the Warriors are just slightly above average on defense, but with him, they're the best. And yes, I know Draymond Green is expected to come back very soon. But just because he comes back very soon doesn't mean he's going to be fully himself, because his injury was very serious as it held him out for many months. All I'm saying is, without Draymond clicking on all cylinders like he was to start the year, this team is not getting to the finals, let alone winning the championship. Some stats to show how valuable Draymond is. Since 2022, which is basically where he never played, the Warriors are only 3 games above 500. They're only 18-15. That's barely above 500. That's not a championship level record, if you know what I mean. Draymond has only played 2 of those games. That just shows that they're not amazing when he's not playing. Also, when Draymond Green is on the court for the Warriors hold opposing teams to 101 points per 100 possessions, which would make them the best defense in the league. When Draymond Green is not on the court, the Warriors hold teams to 109 points every 100 possessions, which is still pretty good because it's the 9th best defense in the league. But going from the best defense in the league to just like above average is a huge margin, and that margin is definitely big enough to determine whether or not you make the finals or not. Also, the ball just sticks to one player's hands way more when Draymond is not there. Since his injury, they're averaging 20 less passes a game, and if you know about the Warriors, the thing that makes them so good is their ball movement. If they're just swinging the ball around, they're always finding an open guy. But when Draymond's there, that's not happening as much. To be honest, I think Draymond is going to be fine because he's like returning and stuff. But all I'm saying is they need Draymond to just be himself because he's definitely the heart of this team. But as I said, if Draymond is fully healthy, he's playing how he was to start the year, the Warriors should strike some fear inside your heart. The next problem I think the Warriors might face when it comes to the playoffs is the fact that it's pretty obvious that the weakest position on this team is the big man position. They have Kevon Looney starting all the games, and don't get it twisted, Looney's a solid role player, solid big man, does the bare minimum. If we're being honest, he's not one of the best big men in the league, and he's actually a below average big man. Although he's really solid on defense, he's not an amazing rim protector, he's not amazing guarding the pick and roll and stuff like that. And yes, I'm aware that the Warriors like to run the small ball lineup in crunch time, so it won't be that big of a deal at the end of the game. But like when you like look at the other centers they're gonna probably have to face in the playoffs, guys like DeAndre Ayton, Rudy Gobert, Nikola Jokic, Karl-Anthony Towns, those guys are just way better than Kevon Looney on both sides of the floor, and I think those guys will be the difference in the Warriors winning or losing a game. And yes, I know James Wiseman's coming back, but I feel like James Wiseman just maybe will be better on like offense with his finishing and stuff, but I don't think he's gonna be a better defender. Maybe we'll have to see how he comes back, but in his rookie year he was like one of the worst like big man defenders in the league. But yeah, their big man position is just by far the biggest problem like when it comes to their positions, and if they don't win a championship, I think their big man like problem could be a reason for that. But anyways guys, to conclude the video, the Warriors have been the second best team in the West this year. Like I just think they're the second best. When the season started, I had them for sure as the favorites to win like not just the Western Conference but to win the whole championship. With the way the Suns have just been consistent all year, we've seen the Warriors not be good as of late. They have to be moved down, and I have to give some credit to the Phoenix Suns. And to be honest, I still have a lot of faith in Steph Curry and this team in general. They can easily beat any team in the West. Not easily, but they can beat any like team in the West. They just have to get healthy and stuff. Maybe some other concerns with this team is the fact that Andrew Wiggins has just been absolutely terrible since All-Star Weekend. Also, Klay Thompson hasn't been good as of late. I know he just had that nice game yesterday, scoring a season-high 38 points. But like before that, he was just single-handedly losing them games because he was just chucking up shots. And to be honest, I just didn't think those were big enough problems to be brought up, because like if Wiggins or Klay doesn't play good, I don't think the Warriors could go far in the playoffs. But I think they're just going to need Wiggins or Klay to play well. They don't even really need both, because I think Jordan Poole is going to be a guy who for sure we're going to produce in the playoffs. They just need Wiggins or Klay to be like that second option to Steph. But regardless, the Warriors are in a good position, but there are some definite concerns with them. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Let me know whether or not you think the Warriors are making it to the finals. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. Also, if you want us to go to 3,000 subscribers, also drop a comment on this video as it does help me reach my goal. And play that intro.